Welcome to the Reticle Up podcast, where I, 3-Gun Kenzie, will be interviewing competitive shooters, hunters, fishermen, archers, entrepreneurs, and outdoorsmen. Come learn with me as I interview people from all walks of life, in different disciplines, all across the world, from novices to professionals of all ages. No matter what, everyone has something they can teach you, so come join me on the journey. What's up, Reticle Up podcast listeners? I'm here with my buddy Blake Cremeans. He works in product development, sales, and marketing at LOK Grips. So all of the things. He's already chuckling because we had this combo before starting. But Blake, thanks for coming on. I know we scheduled this months ago.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, I feel like we've been trying to schedule this since like last SHOT Show, really, since we even met. But yeah, the stars aligned and we made it work.
Very excited. And thank you for bringing me on this year and working with me. I don't know if you know this, LOK Grips, and I put it in a blog coming out we'll talk about, but LOK Grips was the first thing I ever bought for my Walther Q5 because I couldn't fit the trigger. And I have pretty good meaty sized hands for a gal, but the thin bogeys is what allowed me to reach the trigger. So thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, funny story about that is we actually, when the Q5 first came out, I could go off on a tangent anytime, so just stop me.
Let's go.
But so when the Q5 first came out, we were having people, specifically women, because usually have smaller hands,
right?
But getting that just because that's one of the few wraparound grips that you can really change the full diameter of the grip.
Yep.
So one instance, I had this lady call and she had the PPQ or the Q5 polymer or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, do these grips fit?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, sorry. It's a polymer. We can't do that." And she's like, "Well, I just got it." I was like, "Well, Walther has one of the best, return policies in the business as far as I know, 30 days, So I told her that. She sent it back, got a Q5 steel frame just so she could change the grips and make it fit her hand.
That's awesome.
So she got the thin grips and she was happy with it, but But yeah, that just goes to show that, people, the grips can really change the fit and feel of a gun.
Yeah.
People a lot of people get guns and they're just like, "Oh, I'm stuck with this." But you can do a lot to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's revolutionized a lot because I remember way back in the day, like before ever competition shooting wasn't even on my radar. I was a kid. My dad would put like little rubber grips just to fit my hands right. Like I'd have finger grooves or whatever. So people have been changing their grips forever. If you think about like the 1911 too, that's probably the most modified grip panels like on planet Earth when people are doing ivory and wood and like all sorts of cool textures. And we'll just go down that tangent. So Blake, why? Why not? We're already on it. Why would someone want to modify grip texture, grip weight? I know you do back straps and all of the products, but specifically grips. Let's talk about that. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously there can be a ton of reasons, just aesthetics. You want a Gucci gun or, you want it to feel better, more comfortable, more traction, more weight. But a lot of our innovation comes from, customers. And I'm looking over here because I got a pile of grips over here.
Yep.
But it comes from really competition shooters because that's where we got started.
Right.
So think of it like tires on a race car. That's what's in contact with your hand. If you have grips that aren't comfortable, aren't really forming to your hand, you're not going to have good control over that gun.
Yeah.
So it's better to get something that fits you, has good texture for you, and you can really predict, what you're going to do with it. And it's not sliding around and you're constantly adjusting. So for us, the big reason for a lot of guys is number one, performance. They want it to be comfortable, and texture. Number two, as you know, with a lot of competition shooters, is they also want to be flashy, especially a lot of our CZ guys.
I think about CZs a lot. Yeah. I'm like,
Yep. CZ, Tanfo, Europeans, they just want to change the look and make it their own at the same time. And then weight. So since here, I'll show you one right here. I got. So this is my P320 AXG. So brass. So that adds a lot of weight. As soon as USPSA bumped up to 59 ounces, we started making brass grips. Like we heard on a Friday, I think we started making brass grips on Monday. Like
I
we
believe it.
started on the design. We had competition shooters calling us, I need these. And a lot of times we kind of throw it in a list and we're like, well, let's see if people want this. But we had so many people, we're like, we have to do this. We have to be on top of it.
Yep.
So weight, weight's another one, texture. And this is part of the reason we have the return policy we have, which again, I think is probably one of the best in the business. 60 days from delivery. You got to get it and feel it.
Yeah.
Textures, you look at it and you're like, I don't know. So we always tell people, don't worry about it, feel it, send it back. But you got calloused hands, you need something that's going to dig into those.
Yeah. I have so many marks on my hands. I've kind of given up on making them pretty, but that's a good thing. It's
I don't see Band-Aids today. So
no Band-Aids. I haven't done the knife video yet. So to be fair, I haven't found out if I need Band-Aids.
Yeah, that's a beast. We'll look forward to that one.
People listening, I posted a photo on purpose because I knew it would have good engagement. The new Cold Steel Mayhem knife, I should probably know the details, but it's huge. It's the size, it's bigger than my hand, the blade alone. And then the whole thing opens and it's like 18 inches long.
It's comical. It's like one of those giant pencils,
I can't wait,
but it's a knife.
It's legit though. And I bought a pumpkin, I bought a watermelon, so I plan on doing some videos. I'm like, so it might be this weekend.
You're gonna need some chainmail gloves, I think, for that one.
I do have that somewhere. I bought those from a blade show, but so going back to that too, like with the weight stuff too, it's interesting because people don't know about like the recoil mitigation. Like, of course, there's other aftermarket parts and accessories when you're talking about maybe lightening some of the recoil spring or doing a steel guide rod, but you can get a lot of that out of just adding grip, like the brass weights. So I want to talk about that too real quick, is like I have the Canic Rival on video for people watching this podcast, and it's got the magwell and it's got the brass backstrap, and it does look damn good, especially because they added their own like gold parts to this gun. I don't have anything modified in this gun at all. I put the optic on and I put the LOK grips on it. So there's I should probably adjust the spring stuff. I need to, especially because I had it on the optic, but this has run flawlessly for me in 3-gun before I shot for Nighthawk. So, I mean, this is just a great performance pistol. But when I take these weights back off and like have the magwell back off, it is very noticeable. It dips. The weight's different. It's not like a well-balanced gun. And the recoil stuff is really nice. So I don't know if you want to speak to like what brass, like I know you don't have all that probably on the top of your head. Maybe you do. The weight added to the guns.
So Shadow 2 I know the most about just because that's our bread and butter.
Yep.
So first off, I've talked to some different people who have different views on if the weight helps with recoil. And, I've talked to some jack dudes who are like, oh, it don't matter. It don't matter the weight. It doesn't move. I'm like, well, look at you, It doesn't matter what. You can be a Desert Eagle and it's not going to change. But, like you just said with the polymer, you hold that. Think of it like that, You take the weight off and it starts to tip. You want to feel like you're in control of it. You want the center of gravity, to be more towards your hand. Yeah. So it just feels more solid. And of course, something heavier, the felt recoil is it's gonna feel less.
Yes.
Not to mention the upgraded texture.
Yeah.
So, once you pick up a steel frame, pick up a polymer. Think of it that way. Go to a store, a shop and pick those up. Exactly. So you feel the difference just there.
Yeah.
So that's a good kind of comparison of like, oh, this is what it could be like if I add some weight in my hand.
So I've got the Canic Rival and the Rival S in front of me on video again for people watching. And what I do love though so much more about the Rival S is that they did do a wraparound grip, like you said, with like the Walther. But the wraparound grip, I mean, so it includes the back strap. They come together. It's just so dang comfortable all around. So you're not having to buy separate parts. But I mean, like with the old Rival, you can't even modify the grip panels. It is part of the frame, which totally sucks.
Yeah. So you're stuck with that shape, but you work with what you have, and what we get a lot of advice from competition shooters, people like you, influencers, people who really use our stuff. We listen, and that's where we get a lot of our innovations from. We have good texture ideas and stuff like that, but we want to know, from everyone we work with, hey, what works for you? So a lot of what I hear, and I tend to agree with it, is the best place to add weight is your magwell and your bases, because that's going to affect your center of gravity the most. That's going to pull things back for you. See, there you go.
All of the things in front of me, guys. So,
Yep.
I have the PDP-F, which is just an awesome, like, female-sized handgun, and this was really successful at Gals Day. So I made it look
Yeah.
pretty. It looks like Mardi Gras to me, but minus the green. We've
Yep.
got the back strap, the mag well, but the base pad. And you guys don't do this for every gun yet, right? The base pads.
No, we are making an effort, this coming year to really basically add magwells and bases and back straps, everything that we can. So that one, nice thing about that is that's the 15 rounds, so that fits a lot of the Walthers, the Q5 as well. So we started with magwells, and we're like, oh hey, we need bases. They don't work with every base, so we at least made a +0. People give us crap for this sometimes because hey, we want extended bases. Well, the reason we did it is because you can send those internationally.
Yeah.
And it's easiest to do that. So next, we moved on to extended bases. We actually have a design we just finalized for the Shadow. I shouldn't say Shadow 2, Metgar 17 round.
Okay.
So they're 140 millimeters. We've had in testing, a couple of our guys get 25 rounds with the proper follower and everything. So, I mean, it's next to no follower, like the 3D printed tiny ones. So that design seems like it's doing well for us just in testing. We got a batch coming, and then we're going to move that design over to the Q5s. We're already working on the Beretta. I should have brought that one, but our 92X Performance magwell is it's like a black hole. It's huge. If you want to put a +0 in there, you're like.
When you read my blog, guys, by the way, the LOK Grips website looks awesome. Y'all redid it. I know there's stuff coming, blogs coming. Yep. But I did write in there, you might love it, you might hate it, but I wrote magwell is huge in my best Trump voice, because they really are. Like, the video on this camera doesn't do it justice, but I don't know about you, Blake, but I have shot in limited, open, tack-offs, 3 guns, just a different world, but I rarely ever shoot without a magwell. I don't think I know how to reload.
Yeah. It makes a big difference. You get used to magwell and you take it off. It's an adjustment period for sure.
Yeah.
And while you've got that magwell and the Rival S up, so we get a lot of requests for that, or for magwell for the Rival S. We are updating that magwell to fit the Rival S, so it'll be one that fits both.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. Awesome. And I just became aware of something that might cause an issue. We're going to look into. I found this out today that Canik has new mags to prevent the over insertion.
Yeah, which has been an issue on the Rival S.
So, we could fix that with a base. You just have a base that stops over insertion, but it's got to pair properly with the magwell. So that's what people don't get is, some bases are designed, they don't have room for magwell because they're designed not to over insert.
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't have that room for a magwell, you need a new base. So you need the proper combination of magwell, mag base, and people don't always understand that. So it's kind of hard for us to find that balance,
How many people don't read the fine print when they order that?
People don't scroll past the add to cart, So we try to put as much information in there as we can, but you can't always prepare for the lowest common denominator. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's written on the website. When you order, guys, read that, because the compatibility of, especially when you're playing in a market too, where there's, I don't even want to name how many, but there's so many different extensions for magazines on the market today that they might not all be compatible with aftermarket magwells coming from a different brand, right? So I'm excited to see that kind of come in house. But yeah, that's a pain.
Yeah, it's definitely, I understand it's a lot nicer if you can just buy everything from us.
Sure.
But we understand, hey, you've got 10 of these bases already. So we do try to test what we can, but ultimately we want to make a very nice functioning magwell that transitions well, and that doesn't always play well with other bases that don't necessarily allow for a nice magwell,
Yeah.
But that's another reason why we have our return policy. We're like, hey, a lot of times someone will ask and we're like, you know what, try it. We'll pay for shipping if it doesn't work out for you.
That's awesome.
But because, it's nice for us to know, but there's a lot of products you can't always cross test for compatibility.
Yeah. So from a product development standpoint, I want to know the long story if you can share it. What does it even look like to produce a product from drawings, CAD, 3D? Like, what do you do? And then testing. When do you actually like, okay, say like we're going to hit the market now?
I mean, it really depends on the product, obviously. Some of them, if it's like a new Shadow 2 grip, there's like no testing really. It's us in the office. Yeah. Oh, this looks nice, feels nice, it's different enough. Let's do it. Send it to a couple shooters to get their input, basically. That's easy. From ground zero to the market, that's a little different. We've been working on building relationships with companies so that we can actually get files and we can actually learn or start to make products within factory specs.
Right.
So before it was scanning, reverse engineering. Sometimes we still have to do that because we're not on speaking terms with everyone yet.
Yeah.
But when we can, we get files. We'll kind of reverse engineer it from their files, just the fitment. We do some market research to see what's out there so that we're not exactly the same. And if whatever it is, we try to make it better. So this little tangent here, Jason, he's our owner. He comes from aerospace first. So he wasn't always into guns, and then he started the business. So one thing about us is we're, quality machining, programming, design first, guns second. So I think that works really well because we know how to design things to run efficiently and precisely, but then we rely on our, influencers and shooters like you to give us the information we need to make stuff that functions well. Yeah. So, from there we design it, I'll work with the guys on the contour. We've got a lot of different hand shapes in the office, so we start there. Sad to say, but I like the F series, if that tells you anything. Aww. And then then we have someone who, I'm gonna call her out here if she watches this, but Reese, my assistant, she helps, with customer service and stuff. We gave her a grip yesterday. I thought it was comfortable. Her fingers wrapped around, and I'm like, man, all right, let's try to tweak this a little bit because I know my hands are average, and we got Andre the Giant over here. So we go back and forth, and that tells us like, hey, it's comfortable for me. Now we know we're going to need a palm swell next.
Yeah.
So we'll make some smooth prototypes, send those out to, people like you. Hey, what do you think of this? Try it on a few frames because we don't always know what frame variations are for companies. We'll tweak it. So one instance where we just went back and forth forever was the Rossi. Mm-hmm. Rossi, we just released our Rossi RP-RM series grip, and we made that thing to fit the RP63, RM64, RM66. So we had to test it on all of them. Wow. So that took us like a year.
Oh yeah.
So some things it's like, we're on like Rev 16 for one thing. We went to like Rev 3 on another just because it just went straight through. Things fit. Yep. And different companies. I'm not saying the quality it's not quality, from what we've seen is its price point. So the more you pay for a gun, so if you look within CZ's line of guns, the more you pay for a gun, you're starting to get into hand fitted stuff that is very consistent. Mm-hmm. You pay less for a gun, expect it to not be as consistent.
Right.
And a lot of that's intentional because you want to keep this price point, you can't do certain things.
Right.
So one company we never have issues with fitment would be Phoenix Redback. Those are top-end, hand-fitted, Swiss-made guns. We have never had a single fitment issue.
That's awesome.
So some other companies that have a lot of different variations, like say Tanfolio. Yeah. They have good guns, but they have a lot of different frames. Things will vary. So CZ even, they have a lot of different ones that are supposed to take. So we actually will take feedback from customers, tweak our models just to make it more compatible. Gotcha. So we're constantly updating old models, and it's an endless cycle.
Right.
So in a nutshell, product development, it's ongoing, I would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get to a point, and we are perfectionists, and we have to remind ourselves, I hate to say it's good enough, but how much better can you make this? You know, let's release this. We see things, you fix it.
Right. I like it.
Yep. And I think a lot of, if you run into issues and you get customers calling you, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that gives you a chance to show what kind of company you are.
Yeah.
Because a lot of customers are worried about, if I buy something, are they going? And I've never used them. And I don't like it. What are they going to do? Or if I have a problem, with us, we're just like, hey, shoot us pictures and email. If we can tweak it and it's easy, we'll do it. If not, here's a refund. I'm sorry.
Right.
But we're open to feedback and changing things.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of what makes us different. Some companies, not naming names, but I've customers email and say, hey, I'm not using them because this is what they told me. Like, well, we'll do what we can within reason, but I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an investment. I mean, with different shooting sports, different divisions, people, again, they don't scroll past that add to cart. So you got to know what shooting sport you're in. Like you said, the weight limitations change for USPSA. But there's stuff that's like not even legal, and I don't even want to go into the IPSC world, but like internationally, I don't even know all of those of like, you can't even modify it even if you wanted to, or you can't shave this off, you can't have XYZ. So the legalities in the shooting sports is probably one of the biggest hardships of education for especially like newer shooters to really understand what they can do to again.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like you said, they don't know the rules yet, or like, hey, I want to shoot here, but you got to know the rule set. A lot of customers just will buy grips before they get the gun because it looks cool, and they don't realize, they go to competition and they're like, hey, this isn't legal. Yeah, I know. He didn't, he didn't ask us, but I know that's not legal. And you talk about the different rules, and as far as product development goes, we try to look up rules when we start to, developing stuff.
Right.
And one instance of that is the Rival S. So before we made that, we talked to some people, like, what are you going to use this in? Oh, I'm going to do this for USPSA, this for IDPA. Like, all right, so what's weight limits? So our goal was, aluminum grips are coming, by the way, so I'm going to say that now. With the aluminum and G10, our goal was to keep it under 2 ounces because we knew, what the weight of the Rival S was. So by keeping that under 2 ounces, it's more likely with certain builds, you can use the Rival S and IDPA. Brass, obviously, that's USPSA.
Yeah.
But we had specific organizations in mind when we designed them, and that actually decided how we would cut the underside of the grip to reduce weight and maximize it, because everyone wants to walk that line.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 59 ounces. I want to be at 58.999. If it's humid, it's going to weigh more, whatever. So we do try to look at things ahead of time, but you can't have all the facts all the time. So, another reason, the Shadow 2 brass foam swells, we even offer those hollowed out for that reason.
Okay, that's cool. I don't think I even knew that. I don't shoot shadows or CZs enough. I had to bring this up because it's kind of funny on the base pads. Not funny. It's not funny, but sticker on the bottom of the base pad bumped someone into open.
Whoa!
And someone bumped out of open, I think, into like no score.
How? This is like, how much does a sticker weigh?
It wasn't
like
the
a
weight.
gram.
It wasn't the weight. It was the length.
Oh, wow! That was tight. Wow. Yeah.
It's like, what? And it's funny because in 3-gun, man, I love 3-gun. The more I talk about this rules division, like we don't give a shit. It's funny because like
just shoot.
all my bags, just shoot. Instead of having like stickers or colors or whatever, or not stickers, like I don't know, engraving. That's what I was trying to say. I did use stickers. So I had these little tiny mini stickers, different ones. And that's how I would identify what mag had issues. I'm like, cool. I can't use those in USPSA or else I'll be bumped out of open.
Wow. It's that tight. Dang.
Yeah. So
I mean, we've run into that in the, I want to say the IPSC box.
IPSC box 2 was like Jay Lee's. We were at South Carolina, North Carolina sectional a couple years ago, and she was shooting limited, and she ended up in open because of her base pad was IPSC legal, but because of the slant, it bumped her into open. There's a lot.
So it was just too tight. So we're
just wrong.
We're working on a
sport.
Yeah, and we've been trying to watch that because we're actually working on a new magwell right now to be used with like the TS series. that'll fit in the box. And that's tight. Like on the back of the frame, because when we made our TS series magwell now, we just like, let's make it huge. We're like, it doesn't fit in anything.
Right.
But now people are wanting a magwell that fits the box. So like basically at the back of the frame, it's just cut straight. Mm-hmm. But we're over here with like our TSO putting it in the box, and we're like, angle it this way, it slides in perfect. But then, like you said, if we put a sticker on that, it is not going in there.
You're done. So that is important. I think anybody that's listening to this, and it's different levels of shooting, right? But once you start going to higher level matches or traveling internationally or whatever, like check your gear, check that'll fit. Call up LOK. That's the thing, is a lot of people won't just like pick up the phone and call and ask. Like that's so helpful to do. That's why they're there. I'm one of those weirdos that would rather like call than be surprised later.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes we're just like, check with your local RO to be, most up to date on rules, because we know the last rules that we heard. You know what I mean? It's just things change, and we're like,
did you see find out 15 round versus 10 round for production that went out?
Yeah. So that was another thing, is someone told us, like, oh, okay, so all right, well, I guess that's different.
Yeah.
Not that we'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out sometimes when a customer gets something goes. Like we had a lot of trouble with IPSEC for a while, because they were using our palm swells, and half the time for Shadow 2 again, half the time they're like, no, you can't do that. Other half, they're like, yeah, you can, because it's close to the CZ75 palm swell, but not the Shadow 2 thin grip. Yeah. So I reached out because IPSEC released a list of companies that their gear is legal. And to everyone, it was like, because they listed this, I forget the companies, and of course they were European companies.
Yep.
And so everyone's like, so does that mean none of these companies are legal? So to everyone, it was like, you're just saying these guys aren't legal. So we emailed them instantly, and we got approval. We forced them to make a new list, and they added like 15 companies, because we weren't just trying to be like, hey, add LOK Grips. We're like, everybody. I was like, like, hey, what about all of us in America here? Making basically same dimensionally, same thing. And so they released a new list, added like a dozen of us to it. Yeah. So and it was right before Worlds last year. So everyone's on. There were
this. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there were people on the plane emailing me, hey, I just found out none of my stuff is legal, and I'm on my way to, I think it was Thailand or something.
Yep.
And so everyone was blowing up their email, and while they were there, they released a new list.
That's good though. That's stressful. So, yeah.
Keeping up with rules and that is crazy, and I don't even shoot,
Yeah. Well,
imagine
having to shoot, yeah. And then
you get there and you're like
12 different shooting sports and 17 different divisions, and that's why in front of me I have like a gun for everything. Yeah.
And you don't feel like you have a lot though. Like you feel like you need something else.
Yeah, I know.
But it's just something for everything.
Addiction. Well, it's funny because I have the two Canon SFXs, the old style, and one's on iron sights and one has an optic. And I'm like, I don't feel like switching the optic and re-zeroing it, so I have two guns set up the same way. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And they share back. That's nice.
Yeah. I've seen people with different slides just with the optic and one
without. I should have done that. But you know what? Two guns is better.
But no, you have two guns, and that's even better.
One's cool. One's the old, like, white Stormtrooper, and then one's, like, the boring. I thought... So, I don't know why. I don't know about you. I like the more ridiculous and obscene guns. Of course, we all, like, are custom. But, like, the white Canic, and then I hate chrome. I hate chromes on trucks. Like, all of my stuff is, like, hydro-dipped or whatever. But, or whatever it's called. But I went with the chrome Rival S, and I'm like, I love
That's the one that's why we got that one, too. I was like, that one's flashier. Let's do that one.
So cool. Yeah, I can't stop looking at it. So anyways, that was fun. Okay, let's dive into that. I know you had your SIG in front of you, so I have the AXG as well. This isn't out yet, but this is a prototype you sent me that I've been trying out, and I love it. So we've got the thumb rest set up on the...
I actually don't have one. So you have one.
I have one. Blake doesn't even have one. It's cool, though. So, like, the adjustability, kind of hard to tell, but there's different set screws in here, so you can actually change where the thumb rest lands for your hands. So when you're gripping it, it's really custom to you and your grip. This also has y'all's mag extension, which I haven't yet. I'm sure it'll happen. No offense to you guys. I haven't yet, like, magazine dropped myself, because I've done that before on a gun way back years ago. I remember I was shooting a match and I was just gripping with the left hand, just normal.
Yep.
And I had the extension. I was like, cool, like mag drop. And I ended up having to take the button off. I haven't had that problem yet with this though. And I'm wondering if it's because of the thumb rest, where it's going.
It could. Oh yeah, that's true. Well, and while we're on the thumb rest thing, anyone watching, we are making and releasing these. It's just a process because different parts have to be heat treated, coated. So we're working on a batch right now, and that thing has 18 different positions.
That's so many.
So there's some instructions with it. We have to figure out how that goes because I think I emailed you. But once you figure it out,
send me the instructions, which was my favorite part, by the way. I forgot to tell you that. Where I was like, cool, I'm gonna just figure this out on my own.
Yeah, once you put it on there, you just got to figure out forward and back, and then it's got a rotation.
Yep.
So there's 18 different positions, and we ended up doing that because all of us at work were like, I want mine up here. I was like, I can't even reach that. So put it back here, and then tilt it this way, that way. So yeah, we will be releasing those, and if that goes well, what I would like to do is keep the same, adjustability, but then make a low profile one as well, because that's gonna be a problem with holsters. That giant thing,
100%.
But we wanted to start as big as we could,
and
then go backwards.
Well, for limited and open, I mean, a lot of people run gas pedal, especially on like 40 cal guns, but it's something where they're running the race open top like holsters. But I don't know if you've thought of this. The biggest advantage I see to this is for my Gals Day event, there's like 100 different women, 100 different hand sizes, all different ages. And a lot of them come in teacupping, or they're not understanding of your thumbs.
See where you're going already.
Yep. Your thumbs have to be so far out on the side of the frame. Like, they don't have to, right? But a good grip is as high as possible. And a lot of people will curl their thumbs down, or they'll cross them. They're used to revolvers or what have you. When I put that thumb rest out there, they naturally picked up on like, it's safe and it's okay to have your thumb, that support thumb, pointed at your target all the way down there, really getting a good grip and pointed at the target. So that thumb rest became a training tool for me to teach with.
Even if it's obscene, obscenely large, it, like you said, it is a training tool, and it reminds you, hey, my thumb should go up in this area, not like this.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
And the texture, like, so some of these, like the pistols I'm looking in front of me, will have, like, the rifle has this little tiny patch for people watching where your thumb, like, index point should be. So that's like, okay, a Cerakote, right? Not many people, though, especially with smaller hands, can get up there or can even feel that texture, and the slide stop's kind of in your way. So, like, the thumb rest has been really beneficial for people to get that concept. So I'm very excited. I don't know if you even knew that application, but there you go.
Yeah, we were just thinking, let's do something crazy and see how it goes. And that's our first, gas pedal. Yeah. And, again, that's an item based on that. What we learned from that, would like to add a similar item to other things,
Yep.
Maybe the rival, who knows. While we're on the P320, I've got some new stuff also I can show you right now. It's not even on the site yet.
Okay.
So we'll start with the mag release. So you've got the one that's similar to like a CZ. I have the gridlock here. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, you're straight downwards and like flares out.
Yeah, so it flares, and we only have them for righties right now, but it actually, your thumb is going to, like, as you slide down, it kind of curves out. Yep. So it's similar size to yours, but these also, I don't know, they've got like a dozen rotational positions.
Yeah.
So even if you were accidentally, you're dropping mags, you could rotate it out of the way. You don't have to do that. The other issue I noticed, and your thumb rest can help this, is you lay it down like this, you hit this button.
Okay. Yes. And this is like,
if you slam it down, like I just set mine down, it's all right, but you will probably smash it on the table. Yep.
Yes. Actually though, thinking of that out loud, let's talk about that real quick, is unloaded starts. It's funny because like I run left side charging handles with like my shotgun, my PCC. So like being able to have a little bit of a leg up on that thumb rest, like it doesn't pronounce it a lot, but it makes it a lot easier to grip up. So when people are thinking about like gaming, I'm all for gaming.
It's a game. It's a game. That's what it is. You're playing the game, following the rules. You know what I mean?
Yep. So that's been too.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It's all right. So here's the other thing. We got brass magwells that are coming.
Hell yeah.
So I'm calling this a carry magwell, really. We just wanted to make it low profile. It finishes off the grip for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is for the AXG, so it's similar design. But one thing that I didn't realize, can you hold the bottom of your AXG up or your P320, either one? Yeah, if you were to look under your magwell here, there's a hole, like a little divot in the frame where like a tab from your magwell inserts.
Okay.
So what I realized from another customer, they weren't using a magwell, and that was all beat up. That piece was like folded over just from not using a magwell. So these end up really protecting the bottom of your frame anyway. So even if you don't want to run a magwell, something small like this, it's not really intrusive. It helps protect the bottom of your frame as well. And they were running a polymer frame on theirs too.
Interesting.
So theirs was super beat up.
Theirs was beat up. I've seen that on a lot of the reloads, or like I've seen people, again, this is not what you should do if you like your guns or you're going to sell your guns in the future, but I've seen nail files. I've seen people kind of take different ways to like shut off all of that. But man, it's hard to, like, I love Mechanic Rival. I actually kind of like it almost more than the S because I'm not used to it, but I don't know that I can go back to polymer guns, period.
Yeah, it's tough. Well, that's why you add all the brass, all the aluminum, because you want it to feel like a steel frame.
Yes. Yeah.
And polymers have a lower price point, but the money you save, you can put back into it.
That's true. That's true. I'm looking at my like whole magwell now of like how beat up it is from the magazines. Like, yeah.
Well, so here's the other thing I want to show you as well. So brass bases for the P320 mags.
And they don't intercede with your magwell, it looks like, at all.
Nope.
Perfect.
So these aren't out yet. The magwell and the base, probably in the next couple weeks. We've got them. We got to get them up on the new site. We just launched the new site. But yeah, those plus zeros, I tested them. They even work with the 21 round mags as well. Although over insertion might be an issue with 21 round mag. People still like to do it because it looks cool,
I really want to call out some friends, but I'm not. But like, I get it on the Gucci-ness or the colors. Okay, so I love how annoying I'm sure so many of us are. So how many emails, texts, phone calls, DMs do you get on, will you do this color? Will you do this color?
Oh my gosh. It's daily. It is daily.
What's the color you're on the cusp of maybe? I don't even know if y'all want to open this can of worms on you, but I do. It's like maybe.
So one that I want to do, it's hard to. So you have to commit. There's minimum batches for stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And there's like, we've got thousands of SKUs. So you got to commit to one, like 50 of one thing or 1,000 or whatever. But like teal. Those polymer teal guns? Everyone wants that. But the problem with that is anodized. Say you anodize it. And anodized colors are different from batch to batch.
Yeah.
And they don't match those teal. There's no way to match them.
Yeah.
But teal and pink. We have purple anodized finally.
That's what I'm saying. That mag or that purple anodized is so pretty. I love it.
I think purple's great. I like hot pink, green. I think logically the next thing we would do would be probably a neon green anodized or something like that if we could.
Yeah.
But we've been tossed around the idea of like, hey, let's do limited run.
Yes.
Of like, I don't know, a couple hundred of this color.
I was about to ask you that. Like, even if you did orange for Halloween, you did the green for St. Patrick's Day, you did, I don't know, teal for Mother's Day, like with Tiffany blue or whatever. I think there's a market there for that in limited runs. And like, just to use another company I work with, like Run Gun, whenever they do retro bags, they did a red line, they did. I think there was a camo that like sold out overnight. Those limited stuff really are fun, and then don't bring them back for a while or at all. Like make it really cool one off.
Yeah, and if they sell well, then it's like, all right, we need 50 more because we've got 1,000 people asking for them or something.
Right.
So yeah, there's definitely weird colors people have asked for. Like a very specific red or a very specific blue, and it's like, first of all, I learned this recently. There's no scientific evidence that everyone sees colors the same.
That's true too. That's true.
So people will send us photos, like a photo. I've had people send us a photo of their computer screen and ask us what color it is. Like, well, we got too many things going on here. In your photo, it looks like this, but the title says this, so I know it's not that color.
Right.
So it's really difficult to portray colors like digitally.
Is the dress black or is it blue?
Oh my gosh, yeah, exactly. I should just save that and send it to people.
The meme.
You know, hey, this color looks different in person. Yeah, I know. I know. Yep. That's what happens.
That's awesome though. I'm excited to see some of those, like the retro or just like lime green would be fun. I mean, it's funny because so many companies do like the FDE, the OD green, which are pretty and they're cool, and there are a lot of people use those. But I think the competitive shooting sports world is a bright colored.
They're much less tactical,
yeah.
You know, color wise.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need it to be. So yeah, people want. It's like Call of Duty out there almost. You know, people want to personalize it to them.
Yes.
They want it. They want to. If you threw all the guns in a pile, they'll be like, "Hey, that one's mine over there."
100%. 100%.
You know, you go to most gun shops and it's like everything's black. Like our local gun shop, you go there and I don't know what gun is what unless I, focus in, look at it real close, or read the label. It's just everything's bleh, But a lot of people like that for carry or service or whatever.
My carry guns are my IWI gun, which is purple lower, completely purple Cerakote, and then this Walther PDPF has gone with me, and it's purple and blue and gold. So
yeah, well here I'll show you what I've been carrying lately. I'll probably get crap for it. I don't care.
Is this the Taurus?
Yeah, yep. Yeah. So just I know how people are on camera, but this is the GX4.
Oh, that looks sick.
I've got the large back strap on it. In brass, and these aren't out yet, but the cover plate here,
that's sick.
I don't know if you can see, it's the texture on it.
Textures on it,
Same texture as the back strap. But yeah, this thing's been great. I personally am very accurate with it. I think like when you shoot a gun, it's also about your point of aim with it and how it fits you.
Yep.
So I've had guns that I can't hit anything with, and when you get a gun that just fits economically fits your hand and shoots where you're pointing.
Yeah.
Then roll with it. It's been reliable. Clean it.
Yeah. Well, so have you shot the new GX4 carry pistol from them?
No, I think we might have. I can't remember if we just got one or had one on the way.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I have not. That one.
It's awesome.
Isn't that one large, like just larger all around?
Yeah, it's super comfortable. So I got to shoot that at this Alpine Outdoors Rendezvous event I did for Writers event. Caleb and Chan from Taurus were there, and I know I get shit for it too, but I really like the GX4. It's super comfortable. I love to shoot it. I have the GX3 as well, GX3C. Gosh, there's a lot of models, but that new carry model is super nice. And Taurus has done a really good job, I think, in the last couple of years of upping their quality, upping just the value offered. It's a great gun. I like it. And at the end of the day, too, anything you carry, guys, like I don't like to spend more than probably like $500, maybe $600 on a carry gun. Like you still want something of quality. I want to have a red dot. All of my guns have red dots now. They still have like their backup irons if they can, but it's something where it's like, hey, that gun's gonna get confiscated. It's gonna get, if you ever had to use it, like I don't know how people carry these like $3,000 guns or more, and I'm like, that's gonna be gone forever or a while.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And and also it needs to be comfortable. Yeah, I've heard people say, carry shouldn't be comfortable, blah blah blah. But realistically, how many people go? They're like, oh, this ain't gonna work in my outfit. It's not comfortable.
Yeah,
you know, that's the whole reason I have an LCP.
Yeah,
for when I'm like bare bones summer, that's going in my pocket.
Yeah,
winter.
Fair. Guys get the pockets that are like 17 inches deep, and then girls get like the 3-inch pockets. I'm like, I can't even put like my gum in here.
Well, you can wear cargo pants if you want. I mean, that's up to you.
I do. In the summer, pocket carry is legit awesome, especially for like little revolvers. I have this like revolver leather pocket holster thing. I just love it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's another reason like slings are popular lately.
Yeah.
Like sling bags.
Yep.
I have a 2-year-old, okay? And instead of a diaper bag, I have a tactical sling with
a
spot
you call
for
it?
my revolver. Yeah. A tactical sling, it's FDE. So it says Breaking Dad on it. For like Breaking Bad. But it's got a pocket for my revolver. But at the same time, I'll have my LCP in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But if I happen, it just is nice because it's like I happen to be going in that bag at the time that I need it or something.
Yeah.
Different pocket. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I got 357s in there.
Mm-hmm.
Winter. I love winter in Michigan because I can carry whatever I want.
So nice. It's printing's not an issue. Biggest gun you can possibly have. It is literally like
this year. This year I might try this out.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about Taurus, so this is
judge is awesome.
The executive judge.
Yes.
Talking about stepping up their game.
That gun was really good.
This thing is, the trigger on it, everything is butter. It's definitely a lot nicer. We'll go down this rabbit hole for a second. Revolvers. Probably one of the most email subjects we get is revolvers. Revolver this, revolver that. J-frame, for everyone who's screaming, is actually coming next. Probably sometime next year at this point, just because Black Friday, Christmas, all that.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we just released Rossi grips and also Judge grips, but this grip right here actually fits the Tracker and the Hunter series.
No way.
So this fits, your big boys. This fits the Judge, and right here is why. So it's pretty universal.
Okay.
And it'll be just a different screw location based on your frame.
Okay.
So this is a nice, I call it, it's a nice palm swell.
Oh yeah.
Finger grooves.
What texture is that? Is that the gridlock?
Oh, this is our Veloce texture.
Okay.
So this is probably one of our most popular textures. It actually, it's Italian for fast.
Wow. There's a lot of lines and grooves for people not watching or just listening to the podcast. This is really custom form, like looking and fitting to this grip. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So we call this like mini bogeys around the shop.
Right.
It's not very deep. It's pretty grippy, but we toned it down in the back strap because with a revolver, you don't really want it too aggressive back here.
Yeah.
And we're actually working on grips for all the Taurus small frames.
Okay.
So that's like probably one of the next to like Heritage, the Taurus small frame revolvers is probably one of the top selling revolvers there is.
Yeah.
So we're working on grips for that, like 2-finger grips.
Cool.
Once those are out, probably J-frame, same thing. So revolvers are the whole huge new market for us.
I'm giggling because I can hear my friend Marco and JR and all the boys that I go to SHOT Show with J-frame gang, like go out there and I'm like, oh God, they all have these J-frames, like the hook holsters and stuff, but they are feelable, easy to carry around. That's awesome.
Yeah, they are. I like small frame. Obviously, that's not small frame.
Right.
I also have an LCR. Also, the little Ruger. I like Rugers, obviously. But yeah, hitting the revolvers is, I think, going to do well for us. Our first revolver grip we released was for the K6S, the Kimber.
Yeah.
Which was not like a hugely selling gun compared to the other mainstream guns, but that's our number 3 grossing grip this year.
Holy shit. What's number 1 and 2? I'm curious.
Number 1 is our Shadow 2 brass grips, but that's because those also fit the SPO1, TSO, all the full frames or full size frames. Number 2 is the P320 AXG brass.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then number 3 is a Kimber revolver. Out of everything, that we make,
who's buying Kimbers? I want to know.
Like they are made very nicely, I will say.
Yeah.
But when I think Kimber, what do you think? 1911.
The price. I think 1911. I think the price too. Price. Like those are the 2 things that and they're worth it. It's just, and they were at the event that I was at too. But like $1,400 for a little 1911 carry gun, like that's still too high for me to justify. And with anything, if I look at price tag, this is probably a bad thing, but I look at it, I'm like, cool, sights, grips, magwell, like I no holster.
What am I going to add to that?
Yeah. But keep going. So Kimber. Yep.
Yeah. So that's number 3. Number 5, I think, and I actually have this one right here, is our Jericho, IWI Jericho 941 Cowboy Bebop grips.
And this is the steel frame and polymer frame, if it's both?
Steel frame.
Okay, steel frame. Okay.
Yep. So steel frame and G10. So it's smooth. It's a smooth grip with Cowboy Bebop engraving. I wouldn't say they're functionless. They're just not. They just don't have a lot of grip.
Okay.
But the thing is, Cowboy Bebop, for nerds out there everywhere, it's an anime. It's one of the few shows that the gun in the show is a real gun.
Yeah.
That you can buy and I just need grips and it looks like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's saying a lot because it's for looks.
For sure.
Plain and simple. And it's one model.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Shadow 2 fits a ton of models.
Yeah.
So
interesting that's number 5 too. Like I love that gun. So I have one myself, love the steel. It's a weighted, it still has the external hammer. You've got your safety. I think I put the RMR on it. I don't even remember what dot I have on it, but I like that gun.
The first time I saw him, I'm like, man, that thing's ugly, but then it sat around the shop a lot, because we had it at the shop and I handled it. Starting to like this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I shot it. I was like, damn, it's, I'm accurate with it. It's comfortable.
Oh,
good price tag.
You guys, you did the same thing I did. You did Cajunized Gunworks. You did impact precision or impact machining or whatever on the dot, right?
Yeah, Scott Millum at Impact Machine. He's from Cajun. So really all Cajun. I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you that right here.
I did the same thing. So the trigger is nasty. I love it. It's like, whew, didn't mean to fire that shot.
Yeah. So this is mine. It's on on one of our gun stands.
Oh yeah.
And I actually had, and I told you this over the phone, for anyone who knows Cowboy Bebop, Spike Spiegel's the main character. You should watch Cowboy Bebop. Anyway, Scott or Steve Bloom, he does the voice of the character in that. And, I talked to one of the dudes at IWI. We sent him some grips and that he signed it, So the guy who does the voice of the character who carries this gun signed these grips. So these grips right here are actually solid brass, Cerakoted, and then we engraved, afterwards to get that raw brass look. So these, our gun stands here, you just hit the mag release and they come right off the gun stand.
Yep.
So they actually they're locked in with the mag release. So on the other side here, I've got our solid brass grips,
so pretty,
which are my favorite. I like the patina. You can shine them up to be, if you want them to be nice and shiny.
Yep.
But yeah, Scott Millum, he did all the slide work here. I didn't have an optic put on it just because I like the stock iron sights.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep, you got a gun stand there.
Well, what I wanted to explain to people on the gun stand, so I actually have this set up for the PDP, is the actual magazine is removable. So on the bottom you have these set screws and you tighten the set screw into the gun stand itself. But like you said, it is removable by the mag release. So this says Walther PDP compact model. So fits the gun.
Yep, same mag.
Makes it nice and pretty. And then you hit the mag release and it comes off. But I had the full size, so I have the Walther PDP with that as well. So I love your gun stands, and they're heavy, they're weighted. There's different models, different textures. I know you guys have different.
Yeah, and that one I think you have right there is that one's looks like aluminum that's in Cerakoted black probably. And we have a solid brass one. So if you really want to get fancy, those gun stands are like $200. But if you got a nice fancy Gucci gun you want to show off,
like a safety.
Yeah, and we've had people get those because they want it for an AR just to balance it.
Yeah.
So these things will hold an AR too.
I believe it. Well, then that's what I need. I don't think I knew that. I kind of cheated. I bought this just plastic 3D printed thing, but I need a good display on the ARs.
Yeah, we can definitely get you an AR. We even have AR-10. Yeah. The thing with AR-10 is there's no standard though.
But dumb question, my shotgun, the Gen 12, is on an AR-10 lower.
Yep. So that might work. So that's what I was getting at. There's no standard for the AR-10. So some might be tight, some might be loose.
Okay.
AR-15s are a lot more consistent as far as mags go.
Yeah.
And mag wells, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's my Jericho. Rising Creek did the Cerakote job on it. I went with the fake battle worn, not real battle worn, I'll get crap for that. But
no, I think again, it's about everyone gives people shit for like their guns or other people's guns. I'm like, hey, like, does it make them happy? Is it theirs? Does it matter? Like, why does that bother you?
I'm just happy you also have a gun.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh, don't get the AR.
Oh no, this might be the ugliest, funniest thing.
Is that the 12 gauge?
I haven't posted this. Yeah. No.
Oh.
No, I built this like 2 days ago. I've never had a pink gun in my life, so shout out Creekside Custom. Freaking llamas.
Oh, wow.
These pink llamas, a pink barrel.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You talk about colors. Those are the colors people are, crazy colors people are requesting. Yep.
All I'm saying. So build what you like, build what you want. It's a very lightweight, it's PCC, it's 9mm. It's sick.
Oh, nice.
So I'm very excited about it. I want to go shoot it. But anyways, yes, custom. And then people are going to comment on here like, oh, that's ugly. And I'm like, that's exactly what I was like intending.
But it's mine. Do you, I'll do me. And so back to that point is some of our aluminum stuff, we are starting to offer in raw aluminum. So you can do whatever the hell you want with it.
There you go. So you can Cerakote it, anodize it, spray paint it, do whatever.
Yes. Yep.
This is the in person as much as I can. Purple and blue.
See, that's not so bad.
No.
Is that the one someone said that's the ugliest 12 gauge I've ever seen?
My FFL was like, this is the ugliest shotgun I've ever seen. It was like, perfect. That means I'm going to love it. I'm going to be happy. And the guys, like, at Genesis Arms, like, they went above and beyond. They matched the couplers to
nice.
Cerakote. Like, come on,
that's
man.
Sweet.
It's awesome.
What? And so you have stuff like that, and that's the same thing with handguns for us.
Yep.
And while we're on like kind of the AR side of things, that's a market we are going to dabble in soon. So
okay, we're just
been looking at that. Yeah, like maybe some M-LOK panels and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe grip adapter or something.
I'm telling you. So I'm building. It's in front of me. This is so bad right now. I haven't finished it. It's funny you're mentioning this stuff, but I'm building a little shorty, like super shorty, and.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like real short. So I work with a barrel company called Tactical Kinetics. They're local to me.
Okay.
And so I'm building. That's why I built the 9mm. I've got another AR I'm building in front of me. But this one definitely is going to need, once I put this on, a handguard like stop. So it's going to have to be really short. I'm going to need probably like a panel or a whole thick panel and the stop to prevent myself from going past that muzzle brake.
That's almost like Mac. That's almost like a Mac 10.
Yeah,
you got the that's out in front of the freaking barrel.
Yeah, so it's something where it's like when you start thinking about that, real applications in all seriousness on M-LOK panels, hand stops, like barricade.
They're functional.
They're functional, and that saves fingers, hands.
Yeah. They look good.
Yep. We've digressed, but
Yeah. I was just looking, see what else I missed over here. So. One other thing, we're talking about Gucci stuff. This is my Gucci gun. I don't have gloves on right now, but I will polish it later. So this is also on a stand. This is my Colt Custom.
It's beautiful.
This is stainless. This is not. It's not chrome.
It's just polished.
So, yep, polished stainless. 45 ACP. This is my boomer gun.
I think it's beautiful.
And these are actually palm swells, brass palm swells.
Wow.
I wouldn't even
in a holster. Yeah, no.
I have a leather holster for it.
Yeah.
It's like, barbecue gun. I'll take it out sometimes.
God, that's gorgeous. I like it. Yeah. So customize whatever, have fun with it. Is there anything that we didn't cover or talk about that you want to mention here while we wrap up?
So the new site, we just launched that. One big thing we were working on that I think is going to help a lot of people is we added, similar to like a car site or automotive sites, we added actual filter shot by model. Go in there, you can type in your model.
Yeah.
Because, we can't name a product for every single model that it fits.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of compatibility questions. That's the best way to do that. So that's one thing I wanted to mention as well. Let's see.
Stay tuned for the blog.
Ooh.
Kenzie coming
blog
up.
Yep. So Kenzie, you're going to be our first blog entry. You're also helping us with the design. So if anyone hates it, email Kenzie, tell her what you
email me and like. I get teal parts, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Oh, the new brass texture for our Shadow 2 palm swells. So we're actually going to add it to more stuff, but the first release will be the Shadow 2 brass grips. People just want their hands to bleed. So we got, I think you've seen it probably on Instagram here and there. We've been getting a lot of questions about it. It's probably coming here in a few weeks. Nice. Working on a batch for it. There was something, that we missed. I swear.
We talked about so much.
Talked about so much. There's so much. You lost me. Yeah.
Maybe you'll think about it. I'll leave this too on the nuggets for people looking and shopping. Hey, the code 3GunKenzie, all one word. You go shop on LOKGrips.com, add all the goodies you need to your cart. You've got a discount code you can use. And I mean, the people know this already, but if you don't, I'm going to reiterate it, is when I'm at matches, when I'm at events, when I put on my Gals Day, all of these guns are out there. I bring guns. I have backup guns. I travel with guns. If you need to borrow guns, gear, if you just want to check out the grip textures and, what LOK Grips is doing, ask me. Ask me to feel and touch my guns. I got you.
To that point, we have dealers. We've got 100 dealers or more worldwide.
Yep.
And you need to feel everything. Yep. So if your local shop doesn't have something of ours or doesn't carry our stuff, tell them to get a hold of us. We have very low buy-in requirements for shops like that because we want to get our parts out there. Even if we have shops I want 10 sets of random shit so people can touch it and feel it. Yep. We work with all shops of all different sizes. If your shop doesn't have something, ask them why not. Tell them to give us a call. We can get something in there. Then it's just, at least it's something that you can feel and order from us or through them, whatever. So we should be everywhere. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. And you got shooters everywhere across the country too, like that shoot for you guys that have your grips on there. So that's another thing too, is like lean on some of those professionals too to ask questions and stuff.
Yeah. From what I have seen, everyone's pretty friendly. You see something somewhere, ask, hey, what's on your gun? We get that a lot. People have sent us pictures of a gun they saw at a competition. Like, hey, what is this? I like it. Well, here's the link. Boom, done.
Awesome.
But yeah, we're working on. We've got dealers in Australia, all over Europe. Where you're going to see some things that I can't mention right now. They're actually being released at SHOT Show from some big manufacturers that will have our grips on it.
Oh yeah.
We've been really trying to develop relationships with these companies and build trust so that we can get a heads up, on what's coming out. So you're going to start seeing more of our grips on probably not like OEM stuff, but more like special versions, special editions, things like that are coming. So look, around SHOT Show, I think most of these companies are going to be releasing and announcing it. And there's companies, we've been doing revolver grips for some other companies on the side. We've even done panels for Leatherman.
That's awesome.
So any panels, we do stuff directly for manufacturers as well. So
cool.
Some people may have seen us and not even known it.
Right. That's a lot of OEM or not even OEM, but just partnerships that you just don't know, which sometimes you can say and sometimes you can't, which sucks, but they're out. Yeah. So where can people, go ahead.
No. So this is a huge thing. I can't believe I forgot about is we're moving. So we don't know where yet. We've been looking for places for months, probably 6-8 months. And we have outgrown our facility. Can you hear me?
Yep. So okay. Outgrown it.
It looked like you said something, but nothing came out.
Oh.
So, so we're at capacity as far as machines go, and we have a lot of work coming in, and we intend to keep up with it. So we're looking at new buildings right now. One is very promising. We're not moving out of state. We're in Michigan. So we're moving like down the road, but we got more machines coming in, more manufacturers placing POs. So, like for one that's out there that everyone knows about is SIG. You can go on their website and buy our stuff, build your gun with our stuff. Right. Taurus. So we're growing rapidly right now, and we intend to keep up with that. So I'd say in the next, it's like I say this every year, but look for us more and more and more. It just, we're working with more manufacturers lately. So
LOKGrips.com, and then what's your social medias?
LOK Grips. So LOK Grips on Facebook, LOK Grips on Instagram.
Cool.
Instagram, if you're not following us, might be tough right now because they are not fans of guns.
An event, yeah.
Yep. So that's on and off all the time. So I don't know.
It's
every day
enough.
it's a different status. Yep.
Just spell it correctly.
LOK Grips.
Yeah. And then visit the booth at SHOT Show if you're going. I'll be there. I'll probably set up a time to do like an appearance at you guys' booth and stuff. So
yeah,
stay tuned.
Our booth is bigger too. So 10 by 20 to 10 by 10. It's nice. It's fancy. It's official.
Oh yeah.
And it's by the food court.
That's really important. Awesome. Well, Blake, thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking time. Thank you for the opportunity to work with you guys, write for you guys. Excited on your launch. There's so much going on. So hopefully this helps people get a general idea of where to start when ordering from you guys. So thank you again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, listeners, stay tuned next week. We'll have an all-new episode of the Reticle Up podcast. Check out LOK Grips. Use that 3-Gun Kenzie code and stay tuned for more.
Thanks for listening to the Reticle Up podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow along on social media at Reticle Up or 3-Gun Kenzie.